What's going on, everyone? Let me make sure I'm recording. Okay, good. So, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts and views on the new upcoming Windows 10, because I'm looking into getting Windows 10 once I get me a new computer later on this year to replace my current machine that's running Windows 7 Professional. And this is right now build 10,041. These are some of the snapshots, and I'm going to look at it just to give my thoughts and views and cover the most improvements that Windows 10 is going to include, even though it's going to be released for both for the computer and the smartphone, including the tablets. And they brought lots of tweaks, as you can see. But this is going to be the first operating system that they will bring back the start menu, and a much tremendous improvement over Windows 8 and Windows 8.1. Even though Windows 8.1 was an update to Windows 8, all it just brought was like the start button back and other small updates to Windows 8 to make it look like it was on LSD. But let's get to the point about Windows 10. This is what the new start menu looks like, and you can adjust the size of the start menu if you want. You can make it in full screen, which I've seen a lot of people do in a demonstration though. But one thing though, you can still get to all your apps, which is very convenient, and some of the live tiles like in the start screen in Windows 8 or 8.1. They're both basically the same, but the tiles are very much, you can change them around like Windows 8. And this is just some small snapshots. And the network menu is still being under construction. It'll offer a Wi-Fi and an airplane mode. But I don't know what's the point with airplane mode. Because pretty neat of Windows 10 improving the network menu. But for the tablets, we'll get an improved text input canvas, which is pretty good for the tablets, like the Surface Pro 3. But I'm gonna leave a link to the site in the description for those that want to check out some of the new stuff that Windows 10 is going to include. This will be the first operating system to include Cortana, and it's going to be available for more countries such as the UK, China, and some countries in Europe like France, Germany, France, and Spain. But there's a little typo right there, which is which is pretty nice to see Cortana in a Windows operating system in order to compete with Google Now and Apple's Siri. And Google Now is something that's on Android. And Cortana has been around before, but it was only available in the Windows Phone 8.1. But this is going to be the very first operating system that'll work with Cortana, or the first operating system to include Cortana. And you can even customize your interests to certain topics that you want Cortana to have. which picks up every topic off the internet. It even includes something that some people never heard of before, virtual desktops, which is pretty cool. Like, for those that don't want that, if you like having something up on your screen and you don't want no one to look at it, instead of having it hiding it from the bottom of the screen, you can like go from more than one desktop, which means you can like hide whatever you have up and running, like any application. For example, like let's say you got a Microsoft Word document open and you don't want no one to look at it, and you don't want to minimize it, and you want to have it act like my tongue was twisted there, but sorry about my antivirus running in the background. But back to what I was saying, like let's say if you got a Microsoft Word document open and you don't want no one to look at it, or you act like it, or you want them to think it's not like it was ever open, you can switch to another little desktop which has it's like no programs are running and nothing's on the screen. It's just like all your icons and all that good stuff. Pretty neat for hiding stuff, or switching in between applications. And so far the apps have been improved from Windows 10, even from when it was being reported. They even got some redesigns for the user interface, including the login screen. Even the icon shell got redesigned for the first time since Windows Vista, because Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 8.1 use the same icons. But Windows 10 brings in a lot of improvements, and it blends in more with the user interface, kind of give it that flat look. Kind of like the icons on Apple's iOS 7 and above, and the later versions of Mac OS 10. And it's still going to have the same user interface like Windows 8 and 8.1. And while even though Windows 10 is being under construction, we should be getting a new web browser to replace Internet Explorer called Spartan, which is its current code name. Might look up something about Spartan. If I could find a good source. And plus Spartan is like completely redesigned. Probably going to use a different coding than Internet Explorer, but it's going to definitely replace the Internet Explorer brand. Here's something with find a good picture of what Spartan's going to look like. It say they're supposed to be more reliable than Internet Explorer. And hopefully it'll replace Internet Explorer, but will it be any better than Internet Explorer, which is the question though. Even though Spartan is going to be a closed source browser, But there's other browsers that's still going to compete with the Project Spartan browser, such as Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, and Opera. And this will be like the first browser to have for the Windows 10 desktop the touch gestures and voice and controllers and all that other good stuff that you can do on your tablet and smartphone. We should be getting a new Microsoft Office while I'm at it, which is going to be called Office 2016. It's going to be both available for Windows and a Mac. They're both going to use the Office 2016 name. It's not going to be like Office 2016 on Windows and 2017 on the Mac. It's just going to be for both, even though you still have the ability for an Office 365 subscription. And plus, hopefully when Windows 10 comes out, it'll have probably pretty much good feedback, because I really like the way Windows 10 is looking so far. I hope Microsoft can keep it in their right direction to do what it takes to improve their new operating system coming out, because I really look forward into getting Windows 10, because it looks very promising, and hopefully get a new version of Microsoft Office to replace Office 2010 that I'm currently using. And I'm still using Windows 7 for right now until Windows 10 comes out, and hopefully I'll upgrade to Windows 10 and probably buy a copy of Windows 10 just to have, in case of hardware failure on the newer machine or future upgrades to the hardware, and a improved copy of a copy of Office 2016, because that's definitely a must-have for Windows if you're using Microsoft Windows on your PC. Because I use Microsoft Office a lot on here, most commonly Word and Excel, because I usually have like a little inventory for like a vintage video game collection. I use Excel to organize my little inventory. But hopefully Windows 10 will be worth the money, and I hope they don't do some kind of hardware protection where you can't install no other operating system like Linux or any other version of Windows, because they were talking about putting some type of protection. If I could look it up while I'm I think it's something called UEFI. Because if they include that UEFI firmware, that's going to make dual booting very hard, because some people like to dual boot various operating systems, including like Linux or an older version of Windows. So let me know what your thoughts and views of Windows 10 is, and leave it in the comments. And I'm going to leave a link to this website in the description, so if you got any thoughts and opinions, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.